I'm going to show you is how we're updating all of our website with blogs. Specifically, these are blogs that are summarized versions of our podcast episodes. Now, if you think about it, right, what you need to do is you got to figure out how do I show up in ChatGPT, right? And if you ask ChatGPT right now, hey, what is the best podcast to learn about affordable housing investments? If you were to ask that question right now, you will likely get our podcast. Boom, right here. Okay, boom. Now, how do you stay on top of it? Like, how do you want people to recognize your podcast episode as, or your podcast, or your website as essentially the encyclopedia, as the source of truth for any question related to affordable housing? This is important because if you understand how to do this, now you're referred to as the authority in that space. But it takes a lot of consistency to make that happen. Now, most importantly, what you want to do is you're going to want to figure out, okay, what sections do I need in here? And I'm going to tell you right now. One, you want to figure out you are outlining your podcast or your blog with information that you can quickly understand how to answer certain question in a question and answer format. So you might have questions like, hey, why would I use a fund model instead of joint ventures, right? Boom. Whether it's limitation land bank deals, great. Now, then you also want this area where you want to say, hey, common questions about land banks, or it might be common questions that this episode answers, right? You got to have that in there because now if you format your questions in such a way where people can recognize it as the authority or the area. I mean, just imagine, right? When you used to look up what a word means, you would go to a dictionary, right? You want to be that dictionary or you want to be that encyclopedia for anyone asking a question about affordable housing or whatever your niche is. That's what you want to do. Now, consistently, you also want to make sure you're referring to your name as something that's consistent. So in every single one of my blogs, I have a description about who I am. I host a podcast and it's recognized as the best podcast on affordable housing investments. So that level of consistency and standardization, that's what you want in your podcast episodes, especially about the blogs. You want to have that here. You want to have that on your website. Super, super important because this is going to allow you to show up on ChatGPT. All right. All right. So hopefully this was helpful. I want to share with you exactly what I'm doing. You're kind of seeing like what I'm doing right now is that I'm actually updating my blogs by what we're calling clusters, right? So if anybody ever asking about co-living, they might say like, oh, this section talks about co-living specifically, right? So here's all my blogs about co-living. If you want to see multifamily, here's some of the properties that I covered about multifamily specifically, right? I got multiple episodes, right? Talking about this stuff. This all works. This is so important, right? So hopefully this is helpful, everybody. My goal is so that you understand not only how to create more affordable housing, but how to get your message out there and learning how to get your message out there, specifically in a world where ChatGPT is taking over the world, where the search volume of ChatGPT has gone like, I think it's gone up like eightfold or something like that. It's coming crazy. If you don't show them ChatGPT, you are toast. So please, please, please take my advice and understand how to use this. All right. Hope you all have an amazing day. I'll see you all tomorrow for day 721. Have a good one, everybody. I'm sorry my video didn't work today, so it just threw me off.